back again with the 95 F-150. These trucks had a problem. I'm going to assume like 92 to 97 with this particular gauge cluster. The dye or whatever it may be in the speedometer needle leaks down into the odometer LCD screen. So today we're going to replace it. I found a company that sells a replacement, and I can't read the mileage. I maybe put 5,000 miles on this truck a year, so I just change the oil biannually. It runs fine. So if you're back again, you probably have another derelict Ford like mine. You're trying to keep it on the road. I think this has almost 300,000 miles on it. When I first got the truck, I could read it. It's like 280 something. So we're going to find out for sure. I know it's got a couple miles on it. And I actually put a clutch in it. And this is the straight six, so it has the dual exhaust manifolds. And I got this truck, the timing gear fell apart. I replaced that. When I was replacing that, I pulled the oil pan to get all the chunks of the timing gear out and a little fiber junk. And when I did that, I hadn't heard the truck run before, so I don't know if it had an exhaust leak before I did that job, but I had to raise the motor up. I think I tweaked the exhaust. Well, funnily enough, when I was pulling the transmission out, when I was pulling the transmission cross member out, I had to jack the muffler up to slide the cross member underneath it. And now the truck doesn't have an exhaust leak anymore, so it's self-healing at this point, and we're okay with that. So see what it's going to take to get this speedometer out in here. So you're going to want to pop these little trim panels off carefully. I want to say that's a 7mm. We'll know here for sure in a second. Got a little Torx head in the middle too. You don't have a 7. It's maybe like a T20. But there is these trim pieces on both sides. I just get it's got 2 clips that hold it in. Just get a pick behind it and just kind of pry it forward. You don't want to get too crazy with it. Yeah, let's get those 2 screws out. I think the speedometer, not speedometer, the headlight. There we go. That just has a little clip in it. You can get a pick inside here and just kind of pry it up. Push that back in so we don't kill our Motorcraft battery. And yeah, let's get these 2 screws out. Okay. Oh, they're definitely 7mm. I trusted my gut. Okay. My little thermometer out of the dash. So I just recharged this thing, and man, it's blowing at like 39. It's ridiculously cold. This thing just requires a little bit of wiggling. A leaf or 2 might fall out depending on where you park it. I may need to go, I could probably just use my knife. Lost my good pocket screwdriver. Go ahead and pop the clip off for the connector for the fuel selector switch. And this guy just slides off. Be careful with that. You know, it's 1,000 years old. And you have 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like 7mm again around the edge of the cluster. Let me go get an extension. you want to be kind of easy on these. I've had this cluster out before to replace some of the backlighting. I think it was, well, that one just broke. That's great. 3 out of the 4 is better than none. To replace the backlighting, let's see if I can apply some pressure and get the, because it's still holding it in, even though it's, there it goes, even though it's broken. That's fine. We don't need that where we're going. Go ahead and pop the screws out. And then on the back of the cluster, turn your hazards off if you accidentally turn them on. You have 3 connectors on the back, and they just squeeze. They should just squeeze and pull out. I don't want to mess up this ribbon on the back. Let's try that one. This one has a push tab on the top. This one's just being a pain. Try pushing it in again. This would probably be a good time if you want to do a LED upgrade. Well, I got them both depressed. Let's see if I can wiggle it out this way. Actually see what I'm doing. This thing's old. You know, early electronics make me nervous. Okay. See, this is real life, guys and girls. Not everything goes as smoothly as you would think. I'm gonna work on getting this thing out of here, and then I'll meet y'all on the bench. Okay, so we got the cluster out. Now, we got 3 connectors, this one, and this one. All these little twist guys, these are all your bulbs. So, we're going to flip this thing over. Go ahead and pop all these screws out of the front border. Get a magnet tray. Keep myself honest. These little screws came out to 7/32. You know, you watch all these companies that put out how-to videos, which I appreciate. They always use hand tools, like that. I get some things you want to be careful with, you know, and oh, that's broken. We should we'll go ahead and glue that back into place. But basically what I'm saying is we have tools that make us more efficient. Therefore, I believe, let's put this over here, that we should use them. There we go. Okay, so 2 pieces. You got the lens and then this bezel. And then this speedometer here should come out separate of these 2 panels to the left and right. So let's go ahead and just kind of hand crack those a little bit. They're small, pretty easy to keep track of. Okay. Okay, so that, if you had a shift indicator, that's where that would be. Now, what is holding this thing in? I don't know if if it just lifts out. If there's screws on the back. To me, it looks like it's just popped in there, but I don't want to get too crazy. Okay. Let's reevaluate the situation. There's the board for the speedometer. The screws on it in the back. That's part of the mold, so that's not going to pop off and show you anything. We can try getting a little screwdriver under here, maybe. Aha! We got movement. Okay, so these side panels actually do have to come out first. That wasn't a good crack. There we go. Oh yeah, look at that. It just has 3 little prongs that fit down inside there. It's all modular. You know, if it was the 90s, it's basically the future. This guy, I think I need a thinner screwdriver, honestly. Maybe not. Yeah, I can get this pried up just, oh yeah, just a little bit. Not feeling so cautious anymore. All right, now we're to the meat and potatoes of this situation. And yeah, look at that. All right, so that center connector is only for the odometer. Okay, the odometer screen is here. You can see that. It's just gross. Let's get this out of the way. Let's figure out what we need to do. Actually, before we get too ahead of ourselves, let's look at the module we bought. Module screen, whatever you want to call it. It's got a little ribbon connector. That's it. Yep, it's an Optrex 9437 42 UF-192-AC. And I got this from Module Mechanics. And I could not be more thankful. So it looks like we got 1 screw there, 1 screw there, 1 screw there, and then 1 little ribbon connector. These 2 little tabs. You just pull those up. And then that should, in theory, release the ribbon. I might wait till I get the screen out. That way I can... Oh, there it goes. Okay. Sometimes you really got to pull these, you know, straight on. So here's the deal. You could buy a replacement speedometer head in good shape, but it's going to replace the PSOM module, and the PSOM module is what stores your mileage. So could end up with lower or higher mileage, what have you. With this, you're retaining your factory PSOM, so you get the correct mileage once you plug the new odometer screen in. Let's figure out what size those are. And I think for this one, I'm going to opt to take these out by hand. So these are a T10. I got this fancy contraption of a screwdriver. Nice crisp crack of the plastic. It's never been untightened, loosened in how many years? It's 95, so 28, something like that. It's enough to make it a classic. But yeah, let me get this pulled off and we'll check back in. So there is the old screen. That thing is awful. You compare that to that. All right, let's go ahead and put this back together. So this, I don't think this has a protective coating on it. Even if it does, it probably doesn't hurt just to leave it on there. So that just slides into there. And I thought I was going to have to take a little speedometer needle out, but they will just take those screws out, and it just kept it right where it needed. I was able to lift this up just enough to pop this piece out, which retains the odometer screen. So got a couple screws here. I'll tighten those. This one here. Alright. There's two that hold in this little speedometer head. Never seen so many little, you know, you open up a modern piece of electronics nowadays and most of the circuit boards and everything are just glued into place. Okay. This follows onto these little pins here. Give it a gentle push until it locks out. Yeah. And then you got 3 screws that hold this in. Honestly, this will probably be time-lapsed, but unless you really see what's going on in here, you're going to do it in real time. Okay. Should be it for that. Yep. Okay, so you're going to wrap this ribbon cable around, make sure this is pulled all the way up. Slide that down through the middle. Make sure it bottoms out, make sure it's straight, and then pop those little tabs right back down. Give it a little gentle tug, make sure it's straight. We got a brand new screen. Okay. So now this guy, just gonna sit down in here. And then this guy, sit down right next to it. And then that, just sit down there. Well, that's not ideal. That just came loose, so I think I'm going to have to glue that back into place. Let me do that, and then we'll continue on reassembling the cluster. Alright. So we got all the screws back in. These two, this little blank plate. Not exactly sure what you'd be up against if you had an automatic truck. So there'd be some kind of linkage or something, so it's just a little bit easier. And we're going to go ahead and set this guy back down on here. Oh, on. Set this guy back down on here. Like so. And then we're going to set this guy down on here. Just like that. So we're going to go ahead and put all these little screws back in. I'm opting to put these in by hand. As you can tell, this plastic is very, very brittle. And I mean, it's lasted this long, so can't really be mad at it. I'm just really excited that somebody, company-wise, decided to offer this LCD. I don't know if it's a aftermarket or if it's new old stock. But either way, really helps when you have these older trucks and there's no OEM support anymore. I think these trucks are getting old enough to where different manufacturers are looking at them. The aftermarket manufacturers are looking at them like, maybe we can help these guys out. So I'm just going to go ahead and put a dab of this on there. The nice part is there'll be some pressure on it, and this will all get held into place while it's curing, so I don't have to bother waiting for it. Okay. That's it. That's all she wrote. This looks like junk. Connector there, connector there, connector there. Let's go put it back in the truck and see if it works. So for this, you're just going to reverse the process. Okay. So we got the speedometer right here in the middle. And then we have these two. Here on the sides. That was a pretty good snap. Pretty impressive for this old stuff. There we go. And then this should just lay right back in its home. Now, you would think there would be some kind of dowel pin or something this would sit. Oh, it's got one on this side. Oh, there it is. Turn your hazards off. Don't need those where you're going. Let me get you guys in here. So you can see. It's too bright to see if we have backlighting or not, but let's roll the key. For the first time in a long time, we'll know how many miles are on this truck. Oh wow, I was way off. 279,000. I thought I had close to 300. My oil sticker is just a little off. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back together. And I'll take y'all along for the ride. Pretty straightforward. You want to put your screws in for the speedometer first. Now, somebody said they were going to send me a set of magnetic sockets. I would gladly accept. I don't know why I haven't bought any. Apparently I like to struggle. Now what's the fun? It keeps you honest. And so we're not going to talk about the broken one. The broken one is just we're just going to pretend like it's there. Okay. Now, I want to go ahead and hook up your fuel selector switch if you have it. You should. Okay. And with a little bit of finesse, this thing should just pop in. Maybe these vents will be the next thing on the list. I didn't realize they were that bad. Okay. And we got 2 screws left. One here. And one on the floor mount. I don't know why I have a 72-inch extension, but we're working with what we got. Okay. Pop your little trim pieces back into place. They just snap in. And last but not least, the headlight knob. Oh yeah, what a treat. And yeah, we'll call that a job well done. Now I know when to change my oil. So we did all that for the sake of maintenance. Honestly, I could care less how many miles are on this truck. You could have a lot more or a lot less. Still going to drive it the same. Still going to take care of it the same. You know, that's what counts. With all that being said, that's a pretty straightforward thing to do. I encourage anybody who's got basic hand tools to do as such. And stay away from just replacing the speedometer head. You know, like I said, your mileage will be off. It's not worth the gamble. Like if your speedometer's working correctly, if you can vaguely see the mileage, then your PSOM is probably fine, and it's just that LCD screen. But yeah, I will put the link for the screen that I bought. It was almost $100 with shipping. Considering I paid $200 for this truck. Yeah, it's a pretty big investment. Yeah, thanks for watching. If this kind of stuff interests you, I encourage you to subscribe. I got more projects on this guy and all around here. Yeah, until next time, catch you on the next one.